Alright guys, this is Sergeant Geek back at you with another video here. Video came across my feed that a friend of mine sent to me and just irritated the hell out of me because it just explains the narrative all over again, how people are with this Trump derangement syndrome. There was a report by The Atlantic supposedly that President Trump had called military personnel who fought and died in World War II losers and suckers, and it made the news big time. And it was so compelling that veterans everywhere just got pissed. And that's what the Democratic Party wanted. I went searching for any type of evidence, video footage, statements, who was there, and everything I found, or everything I could find on my own. And I'm just a YouTuber. I'm not like Fox News or CNN or MSNBC, who have a team of researchers and staff that can do everything. It's just me by myself. And what I could find, I couldn't find anything to the contrary. I couldn't find who said it, when they said it, and all this stuff. And another thing that baffles me on it is supposedly it was said a few years ago. Now, the way they've been attacking Trump, don't you think the minute this was said, it would have hit the news and would have made national news right there and then? But it's funny how President Trump has a strong military support, and a couple of days before the election, it hits the news air. I find it very, very, very suspect. But a friend of mine sends me this video clip, and it's of back then Vice President Joe Biden calling military personnel bastards and slow. And he's not saying it over the graves of any soldiers. He's saying it into their face. All right? He's actually in their face saying it. Calling them stupid bastards. Now, granted, a lot of you military guys out there, just like me, we called each other worse. But that's behind closed doors. We have called each other many different things. We make fun of each other all the time. It's kind of like a morale boost. That's what we do. That's what the military does all the time. But you got Trump out here who never said it, and people who don't even like Trump that were on that trip confirmed that he didn't say it. And it goes wild. You got video evidence of Joe Biden saying it, and the news media is silent. This is what pisses me off. It's the hypocrisy of it all. You go after Trump for a suspected quote. You got video evidence of Joe Biden saying it, and it's silent. If you're going to do one, do the other. This is why I say the mainstream media, like Trump says, is fake. They got their own narrative, they got their own beliefs, and they're pushing what they believe to everybody, and they want you to believe what they believe. It's not news. News coverage will cover both these events the same way. And since nobody's talking about the Joe Biden one, except for a couple of YouTubers, it goes to show you what mainstream media is. This is why I don't believe CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. I don't believe none of them. I listen to them, gather some information, and I try to look on. I go online and try to look for the research myself. But I'm going to show you the clip of what Joe Biden said. And I'm going to put in a brief clip of the response from the media of what happened with President Trump. You guys have your own brains. You have your own minds, your own beliefs, your own way of thinking. Take this video and take from it what you will. That's all I can say. I just had to put this video out there because, like I said, if it ain't for YouTubers out here doing this stuff, it ain't getting done. All right, so we're going to go to the clip right now. Let's roll to the clip.
All right.
All right, we've got news as well, and President Trump denies a report, adamantly denies, claiming he called fallen U.S. service members losers and suckers.
The president calling it, quote, a disgraceful situation. He says it is not true.
Griff Jenkins is live outside the White House with more on the president's response. Griff?
Yeah, Jed, Stephen Pete, good morning to you. Inside the White House behind me, they're on defense against these alleged disparaging remarks made in a 2018 trip near Paris, where the president canceled a trip because of bad weather and bad visibility, apparently, and where he made these remarks. Here's what The Atlantic says. Let me just give you the quote that everyone's talking about. They say, in a conversation with senior staff members on the morning of the scheduled visit, Trump said, "Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers." And they write, in a separate conversation on the same trip, Trump referred to the more than 1,800 Marines who lost their lives at Belleau Wood as suckers for getting killed. Last night after the president's rally in Latrobe, he was pushing back. Listen.
To think that I would make statements negative to our military and our fallen heroes when nobody's done what I've done. They made it up.
Now, this is significant, and the trip was significant because Belleau Wood is a big part of Marine history. On the trip was John Kelly, General John Kelly, along with General Joe Dunford, both Marines. But the article is sourced by anonymous sources, and retired General Jack Keane, Fox News contributor, had this to say in the last hour.
I've become suspicious of anonymous sources, and I find it odd that comments made a number of years ago are now collected up 60 days prior to an election and thrown out for the American people's consumption. Given the inflammatory nature of it, if they were going to be leaked, you'd think they would have been leaked at the time. So I think you've got to bring into question the credibility of the story itself.
So to be clear, very damning words alleged to be made, and no one that was in those conversations went on the record. However, this morning you see Sarah Sanders, who is tweeting that the article is, quote, total BS. I was actually there, and one of the people part of the discussion. This never happened, although it is already picking up on the campaign trail. The DNC putting out a statement this morning saying this president has no honor and no shame. We'll find out, guys, if the president has more to say about it. He has a photo op here coming up with the president of Serbia and prime minister of Kosovo a little before noon. One thing's for sure, though, it's far from over, but the president says it didn't happen. Well, a lot of people talking about it on social media, particularly military members who are offended that anyone, let alone the president, would make these remarks. Pete, Steve, Jed.
All right, Griff Jenkins, just about a block from the White House. The president said last night, I would be willing to swear that I never, ever said that. Let's bring in the Secretary of State for the United States of America, Mike Pompeo, joins us from the State Department. Mr. Secretary, good morning to you.
Steve, good morning. Tucked me in between Paula Dean and Kane Brown. That's good morning.
That's right. It's good to have you. Hey, listen, so we just heard Jack Keane referring to this story that the president says is not true. He never said it. And one of Jack's, the general's observations is that isn't it unusual that they would sit on the story, which is composed of a number of anonymous sources, sit on it for a couple of years, essentially 60 days before the election, for maximum pain.
Yeah, Steve, I think that's right. I haven't read the whole piece, but if I'm tracking correctly, I think I was on that trip as well. But what I can say for sure is I've never heard. I've been with this president now for coming on 4 years. I've never heard the president use the language that assertedly is said in that article about him calling the military suckers and losers. I've never seen that in Gene. Just the contrary. He has always had the deepest respect. I'm a veteran too. I care deeply about these young men and women. I've watched the president honor them in every situation that I've been in with him as well.
Well, if you were on that trip, why did he not make the visit to the cemetery? Because at the time we heard that it was the weather, the choppers wouldn't fly, the Secret Service wouldn't drive him. The president says that this conversation never happened. So you were there. Why didn't he go to the cemetery?
Yeah, Steve, I don't know precisely what the decision-making was inside. I do remember there was weather. I do remember there was lots of discussion about whether they could fly out there or not. I don't know what. You'll have to ask someone who was involved in that decision-making process. I simply wasn't. but I can tell you I was with him for a good part of that trip, if I'm thinking about this visit and the timing right. I never heard him use the words that are described in that article. Just, I never saw it.
Okay.
One, I married Jill, and two, I appointed Johnson to the academy. I just want you to know that. Just clap for that, you stupid bastard.
What?
Clap for that, you stupid bastard.
What?
Clap for that, you stupid bastard.
Oh my God!
And two, I appointed Johnson to the academy. I just want you to know that. Just clap for that, you stupid bastard. Man, you are a dull bunch. Must be slow here, man.
All right, guys, there you go. You see the clip. You saw what happened. It's plain as day. And like I said, if they're going to put this out for our president-elect Donald Trump, they need to put it out for his candidate who's running against him, Joe Biden. Both stories need to be put out there to make the playing field level. If they don't do that, then they're fake news. I'm sorry, they're fake news. I'm not a news reporter. I don't claim to be one. I'm just putting out the info that I find and my beliefs. That's why this show is called Grind My Gears. It's stuff that pisses me off. It's not any type of news media. I don't do any, like I said, I only can do as much research as the internet allows. So, like I said, take from this video what you will. If you're a diehard Joe Biden supporter, then by all means go vote for Joe Biden. If you're a diehard Trump supporter, then by all means vote for Trump. Me personally, I'm voting for Trump because the way things are going right now with the Democratic Party and just the small cities and states that they are democratically controlled, that cannot be what America comes down to. We cannot go like that. They're talking about defunding the police. They're talking about taking confiscation of gun controls, firearms. They basically want us to be sheep. Go to work, make money, pay shitloads of taxes, and then die. I'm sorry, that's not the American dream. And if the Democrat Party comes in, how they want to open borders, we won't have to worry about illegal immigrants if the Democrat Party comes into power. Nobody's going to want to come here. Every illegal immigrant that's here is going to leave because they ain't going to be able to make the money. They're not going to have the American dream that they want. They're just going to leave. So immigration is not going to be a problem under the Democrats because nobody's going to want to come here. But that's my video. Like I always say at the end of every video, support the channel, hit the like and subscribe button at the bottom. Leave me a comment on your opinion on this video. Once again, this is Sergeant Geek signing off.